Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where it's shootout time between the AtGames 16-bit HD Sega Genesis Mega Drive Flashback and the Hyperkin Retron 5. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions, and this is something I've been kind of looking forward to. We've been getting more and more Sega Genesis clones, Sega Mega Drive clones in recent years. Gamers Tech has their Genesis clone, only has AV output on it. AtGames just came out with their newest Sega Genesis clone, the 16-bit HD, and it does have an HDMI output on it. If you have not seen our review of it yet, make sure you check it out right up there. It's probably one of the most extensive you will find anywhere. But one of the unsung heroes, or one of the consoles that many people may not consider when looking for a clone to play Genesis or Mega Drive games, is this guy here. This is the Retron 5. Now, the Retron 5 does have a little bit of a checkered past. There's been questions regarding how they used and implemented certain bits of code, but these two systems are very similar in the way that they actually play Genesis games. Now, first and foremost, there is a significant difference in price. I actually got my Retron 5 back in January of 2015 for about $130. I don't know that I've seen it that inexpensive since. Normally I've been seeing anywhere between about $140 and $160. In comparison, the 16-bit HD you're going to find for about 70 bucks. It is the newer of the two systems. Out of the box, the Retron 5 of course does play more systems, so that's part of the difference in the cost of the system over the 16-bit HD Genesis Flashback from AtGames. But we're looking at this simply for how does it play Sega games. So this is about the third or fourth time I've tried to film this. I've had some issues with the camera, slightly different shirt than during the intro and close, but pretty much everything that you're going to see, I'm going to try to duplicate what I did in the previous filming. So we have three systems here. I have the AtGames 16-bit HD, I have the Retron 5, and I have an original Genesis using one of these craptastic little AV to HDMI adapters that you guys know that I love so well. So with the basically the test that we're going to do here is I'm going to test out Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, on all three systems. I'm going to test out Sonic and Tails, or Sonic 2, on all three systems. So with all that, let's get playing. I know many of you commented in the review of the AtGames system itself that you thought the rings sounded off. I didn't think it sounded off myself, but I will admit I am not as fluent in Genesis games as I am with NES games and Super NES games. I mean, here you can see just how craptastic the image is on the original Genesis using one of these. You know, I hate these AV to HDMI adapters. They don't work well. I mean, this is a pretty accurate recreation of the original, you know, playing on actual hardware but using that AV to HDMI adapter. I mean, they look terrible, and you can see here why I'm not a fan, but at least you get an idea of what this looks like versus the other two. So now that you've seen how Sonic 1 looks on all three systems, let's start with Sonic. Now, one thing that I hope really does pop on this is it doesn't seem like the emulation is quite right on this game in regards to the layering of backgrounds and such. So I want you to look at the force field around Sonic here and how basically Sonic is really obstructed. I'd say that's one thing that the AtGames system has been rightfully or wrongfully criticized for, is simply the emulation. The blues and the whites just look a lot more vibrant to me on the Retron 5 version. And again, look at Sonic here with the shield. You can just see how, I mean, you can see through the shield to see Sonic. It doesn't obstruct him during your gameplay. I mean, this just looks and sounds better Now, again, granted, this is a machine that costs, you know, double what you're going to pay for the AtGames. But if you're serious about playing Genesis games in HD, at least as of right now, until like the Retro Trio HD comes out, you know, this is a great way to do it. So there you have it. You saw it, you heard it. What do you think? Between these two systems, my favorite has to be the Retron 5 from Hyperkin for right now. I know a lot of people kind of are not fans of Hyperkin because of how they went about some of the coding that went into the system. The menus are a little bit more logically set up. The emulation on video and audio, I feel, is better. Games compatibility tends to be a little bit better too. Now, with the AtGames 16-bit Sega Genesis, you do get the 85 games that come built in. You do get a better controller that comes out of the box. But the fact that you can use like the 8-bit DOE controllers on the Retron 5 kind of mitigates the downside a bit of the included controller. You are paying almost twice the price depending on where you get the Retron 5 from, but personally between these two, that's what I'm going to be playing my Genesis games on for the foreseeable future. Let me know what you think though down in the comments. I read each and every one of them. I respond to them as well. You can also go ahead, if you want to keep up to date with everything we have going on with the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you get updates each and every time we come out with new videos too. If you do have any comments or questions, feel free to email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter too at rocksolidstudios. Don't forget to visit me on Facebook at facebook.com/rocksolidproductions. And you can also help support the channel on Patreon too at patreon.com/rocksolid. So I thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be nice. Remember, when you upvote, downvote, you're not necessarily saying, do you like the products? It's whether you like the video. So something to keep in mind. Two controversial products, had to pick a winner, going with the Retron 5 for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.